Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. You're very welcome to the programme. And as you can see, we're in the Church of Ireland, which is the parish church here at SAINTFIELD in the Diocese of Down. And this church was built in 1776 by the Price family, and it was the Price family who established SAINTFIELD here and actually gave the town its name. And in this video, we will finish off at the Price family vault. Now, this church was erected in 1776, as I say, and it was built after a severe storm destroyed the roof of the previous church in 1775. The existing wall that's around the church was built in 1772, around the previous church, which dated back to 1633. And the tower was added in 1813 and the bell in 1830. And the church was repaired in 1812. Now, some of the stones from the old Lisnacarrick church are believed to be incorporated within the present church here. And that old Lisnacarrick church was actually destroyed during the 1641 rebellion. So you can see a stone there which has an inscription on it which says Patrick VR9V. And it's believed that that was one of the stones that actually came from that old Lisnacarrick church, because that church was dedicated to St. Patrick. But there's also another stone here that I want to show you above the door here, and it says, this church was rebuilt 1776, and it's J.H. Clulo, I think that is, or Clolo, Vicar, W. Main Curate, J. Barnett, and then I want you to remember this name. This is Samuel McBurney, and they were the wardens, and A. Gordon was the treasurer. But I've located a grave that it's a McBurney grave, and there's a Samuel McBurney buried there, so I think this could be the same man. Now, Nicholas Price of SAINTFIELD House, he tried to raise a corps of yeomanry, and it said that the only ones who could be induced to join it were the McKee family, who were loyalists in the area. So I'm going to show you this McBurney grave, but before I do, I want to take you up and show you another grave on the way. And this is George Robinson grave, but it's actually from the year after the 1798 rebellion, 1799. So it gives you a wee bit of a flavour for the time, although I don't think George was involved in any of the fighting or trouble. And it's this grave here. It says, here left the body of George Robinson, who departed this life April 1799. Now, it was the attack on the McGee house by the United Irishmen, in which the entire family were burnt to death inside the house, that led to the Battle of SAINTFIELD on Saturday the 9th of June 1798, which was actually a defeat for the government forces. And Nicholas Price was known as the Old Squire. And the old squire had a fortunate escape, because while he was away in Dublin, a band of rebels marched on SAINTFIELD House and lined up a cannon on the lawn. But the steward ran out of the house to tell them that the master of the house actually was gone. So this is the slab here. And I think this is the same Samuel McBurney who's mentioned on that plaque there, that's buried here. It says, John McBurney, who departed this life 1765, aged 79. And then it goes on, here left the body of Isabel McBurney, wife of John McBurney, who departed this life May 25th, 1749. Now, I thought that John McBurney was the chief steward of the Price estate, who's mentioned on the old market house, which is now the Orange Hall. But in reflection, I don't believe it is, because the dates are wrong. So I don't think that this is the same gentleman. But possibly he could be an ancestor of the steward of the Price estate, also called John McBurney, because he died in 1765, this gentleman that's buried here. And it says also the body of Samuel McBurney, who departed this life 21st of May 1812, aged 74 years. So I think that's the same Samuel who's mentioned there on that plaque. Also the body of Mary McBurney, his wife, who departed this life 13th of August 1793, age 53 years. So that's the McBurney grave. So if you know if this is the same Samuel who's buried here, mentioned on this slab here, who's also mentioned on the stone at the tower there, the bell tower. So if you know if that's the same man, then let me know. So as I say, the master of the house actually had a fortunate escape, Nicholas Price. Now the steward then, he had to run back inside because the United Irishmen then were going to kill him. So he tried to hide in a passageway, but they found him. And so he wasn't as fortunate as his master because the rebels took him outside and they shot him dead on the lawn in front of the house. So you can see another stone here. Can't really make much out of it, but you can see the dates. So one of the dates there, as you can see, is 1768. But can't make a big lot out of it. Just the two dates. Very hard to decipher that one. And the other date that's wrote on it is 1729. Now, the insurgents actually took over Saintfield House after the Battle of Saintfield for several weeks. But when the soldiers returned to Saintfield, the rebels had already left. Of course, the soldiers weren't aware of this, and so they brought one of their cannons to the front of the house and they opened fire. A cannonball actually penetrating the roof of the building. Now, the soldiers found a drunken rebel in an underground passage surrounding the basement of the house, whom they dragged out and shot in front of the hall door. So there wasn't a big lot of mercy shown, unfortunately, in those days. So this is another slab here. And it says, this is the burying place of James Little, and underneath are deposited the remains of Margaret Little, wife of James Little, who in hope of a glorious resurrection departed this life January 1798, aged 63 years. This monument, sacred to her memory, was erected by her husband. So that's the actual date there, 1798. Don't think there's a connection here with the rebellion, but certainly gives you a wee flavour of the time, because that was the year of the rebellion. And of course, as I say, they were buried. They actually died before the rebellion broke out, because they died in January. His wife died in January 1798, so she died actually before the rebellion broke out in June in County Down. So I don't think they had a connection with the rebellion. Now, a few days after the Battle of Saintfield, the Battle of Ballynahinch was the death knell, of course, for the County Down United Irishmen. And that was fought on the 12th and 13th of June 1798, which of course was a rout for the rebels. There's another grave I'm going to show you here. Very hard to decipher this one, but I did manage to make a date out on it. But you can see the lovely old graveyard there. Fantastic, isn't it? So this is it here. And the only thing I can make out really is the date, which is 1731. As you can see. Now, the old Squire Nicholas Price, he actually lived until he was in his early to mid-90s. And it's said that he attributed his long life and health to the waters of the Ballynahinch Spa that featured a mineral spring and a hotel. The spa's popularity unfortunately declined in the 1860s. Unfortunately, that had to close, I think, then. And so Nicholas was born in 1754 and he died in 1847 or 1849. Now, originally owned by the Hamilton family, Major General Nicholas Price, He was born around 1665 and died in 1734. He was of Hollymount near Downpatrick. He bought the estate in 1709 for his third son, also called Nicholas. Now, I don't think this is a watch house because there's no windows in it. I think actually it's a vault, a family vault of somebody's. But he bought the estate, as I say, in 1709 for his third son, also called Nicholas, and he was born around 1700. He died in 1742. So it was Major Price that renamed the estate in County Down as Saintfield in 1712, and of course he laid down the foundations of the town. Now, after the estate passed to the Major's third son, also called Nicholas, as I say, it then passed to his son Francis Price, who was born in 1728 and he died in 1791. And it was actually him, Francis, who built Saintfield House and let out the domain. And then it passed to his son, the old Squire Nicholas Price, who I've just mentioned. Now, today the house and estate is still privately owned by Mr. Tony Griffith, with his late wife being heir of the Price family. And Saintfield House has never actually left the Price family line. Now, over the years, the Price family have built churches, schools, and even the building of a road from Belfast through Saintfield and then into Downpatrick. So they helped to fund that. And even the local secondary school's badge, Saintfield High School, features the Price family coat of arms. That's the back of the church. So I'm going to take you now and show you the family mausoleum. Now, unfortunately, this is very overgrown, and there's also no inscriptions or blue plaques here. You thought they would have maybe a wee bit of information to let you know that this was the family Price. I had to find this online. So maybe if somebody's watching who can do something about that, a wee bit of information would be great, because the Price family were a big influence in the establishment of Saintfield and also in the development of Saintfield as well. So certainly it would be great to honour them with at least a wee bit of information on their grave. A lot of old graves here too, so there is. But there's also a lot of modern graves as well. And also a few mausoleums. So I'm going to take you in here. This is the Price family vault. As you can see, there's no inscriptions or anything up, unfortunately. And it is in a wee bit of disarray. But this is it nonetheless. You can see the church there. Quite substantial. Certainly has a big vault. Don't know how many of them are buried in there, and I don't know who all's buried in there, but I know it's the Price family of Saintfield. And of course they built the market house, which today is the Orange Hall. And they also owned a townhouse right beside the Orange Hall, which I'm not sure if it still is, but was a bar at one time. But they also owned a house on the site. And so I done a wee video of that, so you can check that out. So this is the family vault. So I was talking to the gentleman today, actually, who owns Saintfield House. So I was asking him if I could video, so it didn't really suit him today. But he took my card, and if he wants me to do it, if he allows me to video around the outside of the house, then he's going to give me a wee ring. So hopefully he will. But it was amazing to see the vault here, the Price family vault. Isn't that amazing? You might say, well, Mark, what's so amazing about that? Well, there's a big lot of history there. That's what's so amazing about it. Big lot of history with the Price family and the development of Saintfield. Saintfield's packed with history. Of course, you've got the battlefield, the 1798 rebellion. You've also got United Irish graves at the back of the First Presbyterian Church. And of course, the battle was at the back of the First Presbyterian Church. York Island, of course, is named after the York Fencibles. Many of them lost their lives in the battle. And there's a couple of graves of slabs of United Irishmen, as well as a mass grave there as well. So there you go. That's the Price family vault. Thanks for watching, and God bless.